Hello and welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. Jimmy Failia is here because we are one step closer to Election Day, and that means one step closer to liver failure for many Americans.
A lot of people drinking hard right
So
now.
I went to your boys' club this weekend, Soul Joel's in Pottstown,
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
you did.
It was really fun. Like, what a great crowd. You had told me that the crowd was very enthusiastic, and they talked about politics for about a third of the show.
Uh-huh.
And what surprised me, and I would love your commentary on this, people in Pennsylvania, which is a swing state, because the second you cross the border from New Jersey into Pennsylvania, there are these massive light up Vegas-style electric billboards for Trump that say funny things that Trump is going to do, and then endorsed by Amber Rose. So I assume that everyone there was so bombarded by politics and electioneering that they were going to be over it. That's all they wanted to talk about.
No,
they wanted to talk about politics. They wanted to talk about Trump and their fear, not just dislike, but their fear of a Kamala Harris presidency.
And that's the point. First of all, shout out to Soul Joel's.
What a great venue.
They're the best. And I told you this going in. These are the fun people. And this is the divide in the country right now, because what they represent in Pottstown is, Trump uses the phrase America first, but America first, that's like what they are. Like the Democrats are trying to describe the Trump voter. Hillary did this last week. She was like, deplorables didn't go far enough. And she's going to wind up in shock therapy. But the people she's calling the deplorables, these are these good, fun people who just want to live in an America where they feel like the American citizen matters. And that's where their fear comes from.
Yes.
They don't feel like if Kamala wins, we matter. And it's hard to argue with them based on how this government has prioritized the non-citizen over the citizen. So it makes for a good comedy crowd because you can't offend them.
No, that was great. I had several
I've tried
people
everything.
like that. I had a chaplain come up to me afterward, and I felt so guilty because I had gone deep into the Jell-O pudding story.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Did you club the baby seal at the end like usual?
Who was asking for
We
it?
do this routine on the road where the two of us beat a baby seal, and most people
Within
hear
an
that.
inch of its life, okay? It's still alive.
But you know what? You're aghast when you hear that. But
yeah.
if
Like,
they
but
if they met this
Moo
seal,
Dang!
if they met this seal, they'd
they
be
would
on
know.
our side.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
By the
if
way,
people are honest with themselves, like Moo Dang is a little bit of a butthole.
No, Moo Dang's got nothing. Moo Dang, knowing zoos on that side of the world, it's probably a chow that they painted to look like a hippo. That's what they did at the Chinese zoo.
You know
with
what I
the
started
fake
doing?
koalas.
I started feeding my fat French bulldog lettuce to make it feel like I had my own Moo Dang. But it's funny because as much as people wanted to laugh and as eager as they were to make fun of themselves, because there was a lot of that, like I was making fun of myself, I was making fun of everybody. And, I joked that President Trump, when he's going, he wasn't saying fight, that he was calling Kamala Harris a fart face. Like, just so dumb. But
that's where this campaign is.
But people want to escape from the idiocy that we have been backed into as a country. And that's why, like, there is a connection to laughing about poo, but also being obsessed with zoo animals as though their existence is more meaningful than yours, and it equals your salvation.
I mean, honestly, that's how dogs and cats took over Instagram. Is like there's an escapism to that. You're never going to look at someone's dog. I mean, you shouldn't anyway, and be reminded of some type of political disagreement you've had. No. I don't doubt there's a dog out there in a Kamala Waltz sweater that's trying to hang itself as we speak. But the point is, you don't generally conjure up that feeling.
No.
But that's how you can tell who the broken people are just the same, because you do know if you posted a photo of Lemmy right now, within 3 comments, someone would be like, too bad Trump's going to jail, Fox. And you're like, wait, what? Lemmy has no idea. He doesn't know who Trump is.
He's just a fat dog trying to sit in a little basket because he's not right, because his fat brain has been crowded by a head that's misshapen and the wrong size, and he should not exist. Those dogs should not exist at all on some level. He knows it. But he's not a political animal.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
No. But that's where we are in this election, where everyone's in a broken place. Even if you're one of the sane people, we offer a lot of perspective. We're not like attack dogs. We're not trying to be divisive. We're not sensationalists. We're not shock jocks. But even if you're in the lane we're in, okay, you still feel pretty beat up by now.
Yeah.
Because it's just been a gross election.
Yeah, even if you, and so, it's like, I know you do this at the end of your shows, but I always take questions. And and I did answer the Gutfeld and Tucker questions before I started.
Yeah, just to get them out of the way.
Sorry, yeah. And someone still said, how tall is Greg Gutfeld? Like, you guys always joke about his height, but for real, how tall is he? And I said, you know how tall he is? If I were nursing him right now and he were on a step stool, he still couldn't reach my nipples.
And that's saying something because a lot of people have reached those nipples.
A lot of people have gotten there. Step stool or not.
Today alone. I mean, sheesh. Monday Fun Day. They call it around here in the locker room.
I'm the Dairy Queen. But people, they always get really mad and they ask questions about Jessica Tarlov. And I say, like, I may think some of her politics are dog crap, but I love her as a person.
Oh,
she's so funny. She's amazing. She's so much fun to be around. She's an incredible mother. And I said, also, we have to get past this place where we hate a person because we don't like some policy that they believe in. And that was like a big thrust of the Q&A.
I like that.
We have to stop canceling people in our own families because of who they voted for.
Yeah, especially when you consider the people they voted for and the people you voted for are all hanging out at like a lobbyist's place tonight having dinner.
Absolutely.
It's all pro wrestling, man. The Macho Man's fans fight the Ultimate Warrior's fans in the parking lot while the Ultimate Warrior and the Macho Man go to Hooters. You know how that works. And that's D.C. Whenever we go down to D.C., if we're in a cocktail party, everybody's hanging out.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, You know what it reminds me of? Do you know in the movie Kingpin, when Woody Harrelson pays a guy to rob him so he can get out of paying the rent? And then the landlord comes to his apartment an hour later and realizes they're hanging out.
Yeah.
So he has to be like, oh, yeah, and he throws the coffee in the guy's eyes. That's D.C. They're staging the robbery. Yeah. But when the landlord leaves, they're hanging out.
But then...
So we shouldn't be so divided.
Then he has to service the landlord.
Something about good sex that makes me want to crap.
What is about good sex that makes me want to crap?
Because you really jarred something loose, tiger. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. Just go watch Kingpin. That's what you should all be doing.
Yeah. I mean, but that is the metaphor. Like, we thought it was Idiocracy.
Yeah.
It's really Kingpin. And Donald Trump is bigger than McCracken.
He really is. You want to know who actually, in this game, who Kamala is? This is really funny, but Kamala is the
guy with eyeliner who's got the bowling alley in his house.
Kamala is actually Randy Quaid, who's slated to bowl. But you know who wants to bowl one last match as rubber man is Hillary Clinton. She wants to be the Roy Munson who gets one more shot at the Reno Open against Trump. She'd love to get in there with a rubber hand and do this.
She still thinks it might be her. I mean, that's why she won't go away. It's not because she's trying to like eradicate malaria and starvation. She wants to be the person. She wants Kamala to, slip and fall or accidentally hang herself in a jail cell.
You're not wrong. She is still making the rounds like right now. Yeah. And I always laugh about that.
I'm here. I'm ready.
Let me ask you this, and I don't know the answer to this. Do you think because I know she hates Trump, but on some level, does she not want Kamala to win?
No, she doesn't want Kamala to win because if Kamala wins, she becomes what Hillary Clinton couldn't.
Yes.
And she becomes the first female president. And that was a foregone conclusion for Hillary Clinton in 2016.
And no one in
Happy birthday to this future president.
Best tweet ever.
Yeah.
Still up to this day. No, because I think about that. Nobody in D.C. actually, openly is one thing, but behind the scenes, nobody in D.C. thinks Kamala has the goods. Nobody. And that's why she's been such a background player this entire presidency. Like, you have a president who's probably spent, would you say 60% of his administration on a beach in Delaware?
Yeah. And they were like, Mr. President, are you going to go tour the hurricane-ravaged states? He's like, I have a phone.
Hurricanes?
Like, oh, boy.
They won on Friday. It almost went to overtime. They got a good ball club, that Miami. You're like, no, the Hurricanes, Mr. President.
We're not talking about the you, sir.
Hurricanes? I don't drink alcohol this early in the day.
That's for Mardi Gras.
Maybe a mudslide instead. That's where we find ourselves.
It's got ice cream in it.
Yeah, she isn't stepping up to fill the void. That's what's so amazing is there's so many opportunities right now as a member of this administration to lead. but you can't take them because they don't want her to have the ball with the game on the line.
Yeah.
With the game on the line, they want Rachel Maddow to have the ball. You know what I mean? They want somebody at CNN, preferably not Scott Jennings, to have the ball. They want Abby Phillip to have the ball.
I still love that guy.
Yeah, he's the best. He should hire a food taster in the CNN break room. They hate him because he does. He pees in the punch bowl. Like yesterday, he was saying, he's like, Tim Walz is a buffoon.
Yeah.
He goes, he got caught in all these lies about his military service, and all he could say is, me no understand words good. That's funny. Shout out to Jennings.
And CNN has hired like MSNBC, just absolute hacks who claim to be Republicans. Like, oh, yeah, no, I think that as a Republican, I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she redefined masculinity.
That's my fact. Yeah,
David Gergen. Oh, yeah.
We always say we're living in the death of shame. Jen Psaki saying to Doug Emhoff yesterday, you've redefined masculinity.
Yeah.
For who?
That was so masculine of you to plug the nanny.
Something about the way you boned the nanny. Yeah. Because if that's
got her pregnant and then just cast her aside. Yeah, ruined her life.
If that's the standard, then it wasn't redefined. Like, Arnold did that 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And
I'm not at least had like a hot son.
Yeah, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say Arnold's not the first maid shagger in the upper echelons of society. There's probably a long road full of maids.
It's almost a prerequisite to be a leader in California now. Noah, you're a great fundraiser, and you went to law school, but have you impregnated the help?
When the liberal elite said we're all in this together, they meant the maid.
I'm with her. All right, I have to cut you loose.
Would you look at the time? Would you? Wow.
We're just getting warmed up. All right. Well, now you can start your week. This has been Kennedy Saves the World, along with Big Jim Failia. I'm Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with the Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app.
Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.